Hi folks, as you know if you follow the channel, I've been competing in the iRacing GT3 Sprint series recently. We're about halfway through, but it's some challenge, let me tell you. And I'm almost on the cusp of breaking into the top 10 though, so that's kind of my goal for the rest of the year. But obviously to do that, I'm going to need to get as much practice as I can get to really get on top of this car. So if I need all that practice, why, you might ask, am I sitting in my sim rig talking to you instead of testing? It broke. So here is the offending piece. This is the Cube Controls QRX hub, specifically the wheel side of it. And effectively this is where the steering wheel bolts on to the rig. And the idea behind the quick release hub is that you can see the 4 pins in the end here. Well, these 4 pins tie up with 4 pins on the steering wheel, which is a female piece that quick releases onto here. And this allows the electronic signals from the steering wheel to pass through to the computer. And if we have a look here at the GT3 wheel I'm using at the moment, obviously you've got a bunch of buttons there, you've got your paddles in the back for changing gear, and these all need to come through. There's the quick release, there's the female, and there's the 4 pins. So these come through here to the computer via these 4 pins. Now underneath you can see that the pins appear here. We shouldn't be able to see these. So yeah, they come down this cable and up into a USB port in the computer. Now, as you can probably tell, that isn't supposed to look like that. So yeah, this piece would be attached under here. And I noticed over the past few weeks or so it was getting a little bit slack and moving around. I thought, well, that shouldn't be, because it's a solid connection, or should be. But effectively what I think has happened is with all the vibration and just general wear and tear, the forces that go through the steering wheel. I mean, there's no force on this. There's no stress on this. There shouldn't be, but obviously there is with the angles. Maybe it's how it's bolted in position or cable tied in position here. There's maybe a bit too much stress on it. Anyway, that has gradually just shaken the. I don't think it's metal. I think that's a plastic connection, and the plastic connection is just cracked and frayed. And then when I tried to investigate it last night, after a bit of testing, when it was getting pretty slack, I thought, well, something's not right here. It just came off in my hand. So yeah, not great. So the rig is drivable if I have a steering wheel that doesn't have any functions on it. So something like the Formula Ford or the Lotus 49, Lotus 79, that type of thing would be fine. But when you've got a steering wheel with electronic gubbins on it, not so good. Now, I think the good people at Cube Controls were aware of the issue I've had, because shortly after I purchased the GT wheel and the connector, the hub side connector there, that has just broken, they changed the design of the connector a little bit. So it used to be that threaded connection as we saw there, and they changed it to this, which is a magnetic end port. So you can still see there's the 4 pins in the end there. Where's the camera? There we are. But rather than having a kind of screw-in arrangement like they've had, where everything's bound together, and again with the vibration shaking through, it's obviously in my case cracked the plastic connection. They have the magnet. So here's the wheel that I got the cable with. This is the CSX3 F1 style wheel, which I again picked up a few years ago for the F1 series that I was racing in. And you can see on the back there that there is a, just below at the bottom there, you've got the pickup for the magnet. So yeah, this rather than having to screw on, as I say, this just snaps into place like that. It's quite a strong magnet as well, so it should hopefully, I presume it copes with all the torque forces and flapping around the cables that happen, otherwise they wouldn't have launched it. So yeah, that just snaps on and snaps off again, but without the actual binding up of threads that we've had, then hopefully that does away with any kind of vibration issues causing fractures like I've seen. So I have ordered a new hub side pickup from the people at Pure Sims, who have supplied a lot of the stuff I have on the sim rig, and it should be here in a couple of days' time. So that has got the pickup for the magnet cable, magnetized cable. So we'll try that out. We'll do a little unboxing once it arrives, get it on the rig, and take it for a little test drive and see how it goes. And fingers crossed, we'll be up and running again soon. So as you can tell from the weird presence of facial hair compared to a couple of clips ago, and also maybe from my raspy voice a little bit, if it's still a bit raspy, that took a little bit longer than I'd hoped. So The part didn't take too long to arrive. It came in from Pure Sims pretty quickly. But the next day it was my daughter's 11th birthday, so we spent a couple of days away to celebrate that. And then on the back of that, I got a little bit ill with something that was like the flu, which lasted for a few days. So I wasn't really in a fit state to do any kind of work to the to the sim rig. Anyway, so here we are, a little bit later than planned, but the piece has arrived, and here it is in the box. I haven't yet opened it, so let's have a look, shall we? So yeah, feels about the right size and weight. So okay, so open up here. We've got a nice little soft bit of foam on top to protect presumably the the male piece inside. We've got some bolts as well. Oh, and some spare spacers. We've got some black bolts with domed heads, which I'm not sure if you can see those, and also a set of bolts with hex heads on them as well, and some spare shims. I don't know if you can see the shims at the back of the packet there. Take them out and show you later, but you know what the shims look like. They are for spacing up different wheels in the back of thing on the attachment. So here it is, the piece itself. Let's get rid of the box, shall we? And yeah, looks good. Looks new. My old one had a little bit of wear and tear on it when the wheel had jumped off and things, and I hadn't shimmed it correctly. But yeah, here's a piece. There's the piece for the magnet at the bottom. Here's the old one for comparison. Pretty much identical, side by side, apart from obviously the pickup in the bottom, the different attachment. But yeah, looks pretty good. Feels about the same weight, so that's all good. Let's grab the cable. Here is the magnetized cable for the new one, and hopefully, hey presto, if I can do this in a way that you can see. Oh yeah, oof, that's a strong magnet. That's upside down. There we go. Oof, that is actually that is quite a strong magnet on there. So that feels stronger than it was in the steering wheel itself, to be fair, which I'm quite happy about. So yeah, that's pretty good. It'll drop down a little bit, but let's see why that shouldn't be an issue for my legs or anything. And then we'll curl it round the hub, something like this maybe. Then take it up to the computer so that when it winds on and off, it doesn't drag. So yeah, I'll have a little play about with installation. We'll stick it on. I'll show you a little shot of it installed. And then, yeah, let's take it out. The shims, of course, the way, for anyone who doesn't know, there's a couple of wee screws in the bottom there. And you can see the rectangular piece. So the way it works for different wheels is that the female piece that goes on, obviously the manufacturing tolerances can be slightly different between them. So in order to take up the slack, you can add shims in there, which is the give them some spare ones in the back, which is good. It's always good to have spare ones. So I presume the shimming will be slightly different than it was in my last hub, so I'll have to work that out as well. But that's not too much of an issue. So right, let's get this on the rig and yeah, see how it goes. Right, it's night time, as you might have noticed. It's quite dark. Sorry for the darkness. But yeah, so I just jumped into the current week of the GT Sprint series to have a quick test of the steering wheel. The lights are on, which is good. Good sign. That means the electrical connections are all working. And it was Sebring, and it was night time. And I just realized I was going to jump out of it, and then I thought, well, I've not actually driven in the night time yet in this car, so it should be fun for a little something different for the test drive. So yeah, let's switch the engine on. Oof, the lights, good stuff. I can see now. Yeah, so the gears work. Fiddly and spin letter works, so everything looks like, as far as the electrical connections go, it works. Do we have any issue with binding up? No. This way? No, I can get full lock both ways without too much of an issue there. So let's put the speed limiter on in the first, and let's go out on track, shall we? First time I've driven this, literally the first time I've driven the sim for a couple of weeks. I can't remember the last time I was at Sebring. I think it was in a Formula 1 car, so it might take me a little bit of time to get used to it, especially in the dark. Yeah, it feels good. No idea where the braking spots are or anything in this car. Around here. I have a rough idea where the circuit goes. Other than that, I'm a bit lost. Like, can I make my way through this bit in the dark? Hopefully. One curve. Two curves. Oh, it's a bit fast. Certainly no issues with connection and no issues with steering, so I think the replacement is a success. Right, time to get back into practice, I suppose. Let's see if we can indeed crack into the top 10 of this championship before the end of the season. On the brakes there. It's quite cool driving at night time actually. I like this. Well, that was good fun. Everything seems to work. Fantastic. Let's get back to work then, shall we? Thanks for tuning in, folks. I will see you at the next race. Which hopefully, well, it might not be this evening because we're quite late in the week. And I don't have that much time to practice. To learn it properly for a race. But I don't know where the next race is next week. It might be that one, I don't know. I will see you at some point for some of these. Thanks folks, if you enjoyed that, or if you have any questions, if you enjoyed it, leave a like. If you have any questions, leave a comment. I will get back to you. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.